looked at your credit card statement and seen that you, I don't know, had a charge from Topeka, Kansas, and you live in the Bay Area of California? Yeah, that probably wasn't you. So today we're going to talk about credit card fraud and how to handle it when it happens to you. Check it out. What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome back to Hustling and Healing. For those of you first joining me, what's up? Welcome to Hustling and Healing. My name is Bree, and I'm the creator of this channel. In case you couldn't tell from the video before, we are going to talk about credit card fraud and what to do after you realize that you've experienced credit card fraud. Oh yeah, and today's Monday, which means it's Mo Money Monday! It's Mo Money Monday! And as I said, we're going to be talking about credit card fraud. So in case you couldn't tell, I'm a little exhausted, so this is going to be a quick video because your girl want to go to sleep. So let's jump into it. So, you experienced credit card fraud. Now what? Step number 1, you should call your credit card company immediately and report it. Because the faster you report it, the more likely you are to be able to get your money back for that situation. And sometimes you do have to wait for it for the pending transaction to post, but when you put your bank on notice, they'll be sure to keep an eye out for you, or at least send you a notification when it posts so that you can go ahead and go through the proper chain of steps to get your money back. Number 2, check your credit card accounts and change your passwords. So a lot of times people will use those random passwords that Google will suggest and never remember it. Yeah, you know who else has random password generators? Credit card hackers. So make sure you change your password to something that you know and something that people probably won't guess about you so that you don't have to worry about that happening to you again. Number 3. Notify your credit bureau and other credit card companies or other companies in general in which you have credit with. So like I said in previous videos, credit it's an umbrella. So yeah, you may have a credit card and that may be where your fraud is, but your credit will also be impacted, say for your car, like your car history, your car payment, because that's where we'll also have a credit line, or your mortgage or things like that. So just notify your credit bureau, notify other companies in which you have credit lines with, so that they're all on notice and know what's going on in the event that you have to switch cards or anything like that. Number 4, monitor your credit card statements, transaction history, and credit reports. These all pretty much go without saying because you want to make sure that that's not impacted by this fraud. Because again, if you didn't do it, that shouldn't be a reflection of you because that's not fair because you didn't do it. So make sure that you report that immediately and then you monitor your statements and make the adjustments accordingly by contacting the necessary people. And number 5, check your online shopping accounts or online accounts where your cards may be stored and make sure that those are secure. So like things like PayPal, Amazon Pay, Google Pay, things like that, those are generally pretty secure. But if you're buying a Taiwanese makeup brand and you don't see that little lock down there that says it's a secure transfer, you might want to check that out and maybe remove your card from there and just enter it manually every time you want to buy. I'm not saying that that will be a source, but it becomes a little more suspicious when that lock isn't there. So remember to remove those cards from those companies and those websites that don't have that trusted transaction notification or icon. And then here are 3 tips from me, Bree's tips and tricks, how to stay on top of that and know as soon as something like this may occur. So number 1, set up alerts every time your card is used, whether it's present or not. I lived in Eastern Europe and my card did that in general. So like I had to type in a code every time I wanted to use my card across the world, or I had to get a notification every time I swiped it, just so that I would know what my balance was and that I did it, and that like made it a lot better for me to just have a peace of mind so I didn't have to keep track of everything. So I get a notification, then that left a paper trail of all the things that I did. So make sure you set up push notifications, text messages, emails, whatever you prefer. I have all 3 because your girl's paranoid, so that I know what is charged on my card and when, whether or not I gave that card or whether or not I just entered it online. So make sure that you set it up for both when the card is present and without so that you get that notification. Second tip is set up the end of the day balance notification and end of the week balance notification. I do this so that I know how many transactions I did in a day. Some cards will give you a limit of like 6 or 10 depending. So that way I can keep track of the amount of transactions that I've had in the day and what those were for. So I really enjoy that because it shows me how much I'm spending and it tells me I need to stop spending money I don't have. Even though I never listen, it's a good reminder that my impulse control is lacking and I need to fix that. But also it's very helpful to see if you have charges that you didn't necessarily make so that you can go ahead and report that in a timely manner. And also, I suggest doing this for weekly as well, just same rules apply. And then finally, my third tip is set up a verification step for each of your purchases. So if you're using contactless pay, like Google Pay, I'm not sure if Apple Pay has this, but sometimes you'll have to unlock your phone again with your code or your PIN or whatever before you can actually pay. And that's just to ensure that that's really you. You really want to make that purchase. You can also set that up for online purchases as well as in-store purchases. I'm not sure if you can do it on a card, but you can definitely do it with your contactless pay and online. So set that up so that, yeah, it's annoying whenever you just want to buy something or if you're on like a crunch, but that way you can ensure that it's really you, and that will often stop a lot of hackers that are trying to get there because they won't have that code that's sent to their phone or sent to their email about that transaction. So make sure that you set that up if you want to keep it a little safer for your credit card. So that's it. Those are my tips and tricks, and those are the 5-6-ish things, I don't know, I didn't really count, things that I suggest you do immediately once you suspect that you've been a victim of credit card fraud. You're not in this alone. It happens to a lot of people, unfortunately, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon, but there are different ways in which you can mitigate that and keep track of your histories so that you can make sure that you are not affected by it in ways that people have been in the past. So just make sure you report it, call the police if necessary if it's really that deep. Make sure you call your credit card company, call your credit card bureaus, keep an eye on that transaction history, and set up those notifications so that you know what you're spending, when you're spending, and what you're not spending, and who's spending it for you. Because unless it's you or an authorized user, that makes it an unauthorized charge, and that makes it a fraudulent charge, and that can lead to your card being locked. That can lead to your credit history or credit score tanking, and just a whole lot of bad things for you. So just keep an eye on that. Keep track of it, and you'll be good to go, and you'll be able to handle all those credit frauds that hopefully you don't encounter. But that's it for today's video. What now after you experience credit card fraud for this Mo Money Monday. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Be sure and like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell down there to get notifications every time I post a new video. I also post 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday. Monday being hustling, that is the Mo Money Monday. So today, Wednesday, wellness, and that's hustling and healing combined for physical health and literacy. And the third one, Sunday, being healing, self-love Sunday, and that's all about radical self-love. And if you're interested in following me on other forms of social media, I am on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course, YouTube, which I'm sure you're watching this video on. And that's about it. I'm gonna go sleep. Have a great Monday. It's Monday. Good God, it's Monday. Have a great Monday, y'all. I'll see you on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday. Bye.